Good morning, Andover. My name is Tom Lockerbie, and I serve as your Secretary of the Academy. The mission of the Advancement Office is to connect alumni and families to each other and the school. Every one of you will one day, quite soon for seniors, join the ranks of our 25,000-strong alumni body. Today is an opportunity for you to begin that global connection, celebrating 3 special graduates with the Andover Alumni Award of Distinction. This award was created by alumni for alumni. And to tell us more about it and to introduce our program, I invite the chair of the Alumni Award of Distinction Committee, Emily Bernstein of the class of 1986 and parent class of 2021, to the podium. Emily?
Okay, he just covered everything I was going to say, so I can go home. No, I'm, as Tom said, Emily Bernstein. I was the class of 86, and my kid was the class of 21. But today you can think of me as a messenger from your future. I'm representing the 25,000 Andover and Abbott alumni around the world. And you're going to be joining that group, as Tom said, very soon. And I encourage you to take full advantage of it. You can find people who've followed every career, every interest you can imagine, and they're happy to help you as you look for your path. This is the 11th annual Finis Origine Pendent all-school meeting. We're here to honor 3 extraordinary alums who are the recipients of this year's Alumni Award of Distinction. Begun in 2011, the award recognizes and honors alumni of Phillips Academy or Abbott Academy who've served with distinction and exhibited leadership in the arts, sciences, letters, humanities, or other significant field of endeavor. Each year, an award committee reviews scores of nominees and is challenged to select recipients from among many worthy candidates. Here with me today are the members of the committee who are making these difficult decisions. For our recipients today, their time at Andover was a beginning, which helped to shape who they've become. As you might imagine, they have much more to say about their journeys than time in this all-school meeting will allow. If you're interested in hearing more, they'll be in the mural room in Peresky Commons from 11 to 12 today. You're welcome to come by and have lunch or just to say hello. Actually, only 2 of our awardees are here today. The third couldn't be with us, but you will still hear about her extraordinary achievements as well. Now we're delighted that the 2022 recipients will be introduced and formally presented with their awards by students. I happily turn the program over to them.
Good morning. My name is Christopher Savino, and I'm a 3-year upper and a day student from Andover. As Vice President of Global Client Partnerships at Google, Torrance Boone is responsible for driving the technology company's strategy and multi-billion-dollar business across a portfolio of the world's largest global advertisers. He also co-leads Google's New York office, the 2nd largest in Google's network. Mr. Boone is recognized not only as a leader in the industry, but also an advocate for diversity and inclusion in education and business. He is the former president of the New York Board of Citizen Schools, a national education reform organization. Mr. Boone is also a corporate director for Macy's and a former corporate director for Finish Line, a national specialty retailer. He was raised in inner-city Baltimore, far from PA's campus. He describes coming to Andover as an experience that motivated a hunger for exploration and discovery. While a student at Andover, Boone was involved in dance, music, and theater. He was president of the debate club and active in CAMD and AFLATAM. As an alumnus, Boone became a member of the Alumni Council and volunteered as a career mentor and an Institute for Recruitment of Teachers advisory board member. He also played a key role in organizing AFLADAM's 50th anniversary celebration in 2018. In acknowledgement of the guidance counselor at Baltimore's Roland Park Junior High School, responsible for matriculating many minority students to Andover, Boone recently endowed the Marie Bessick Scholarship Fund. Boone holds a Bachelor of Arts in Economics with honors from Stanford University and an MBA from Harvard Business School. He's received numerous awards for his works, including being featured on the Financial Times Upstanding Leaders list, one of Savoy Magazine's top 100 most influential Black people in corporate America, and numerous others. His yearbook quote in 1987 is from Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man. It read, "The conscience of a race is the gift of its individuals, for we create the race by creating ourselves." It is my great honor to present the Andover Alumni Award of Distinction to Torrance Boone, class of 1987.
Good morning, everyone. At Google, we have an expression for situations like this. Be brief, be brilliant, be gone. I can promise you I will deliver on at least the first and the last. I want to thank Andover and the Alumni Association for this award. I remember so vividly coming to campus in the fall of 1982. Yes, I'm old. Before I matriculated that following year. I had been accepted, and Meredith Price, the director of admissions at the time, brought me and two other classmates from Roland Park Junior High School in Baltimore to visit campus with the goal of convincing us to accept the offer of admission. It was my first time on a plane, and one of the few times I had been out of the inner city where I grew up. I was excited, intimidated, and full of anticipation. During that brief visit, I was blown away by the beauty of the campus and the dynamism of the learning environment. It was an easy decision. Fast forward to today, I am reminded that this award is really a reflection of the vision and sacrifices so many people made on my behalf. Marie Bessick, the guidance counselor at Roland Park, who had the ambition of getting a handful of poor Black kids into prestigious secondary schools. I mentioned Meredith, who was her partner in this ambition. There were numerous other teachers here and many others, mentors and sponsors throughout my professional career. So this award exemplifies the core value we all hold so dear when we join and leave the Andover community. That value is non-civi. So I want to reflect this morning on the power of values, of living a values-centered life. Just as non-civi guides the Andover culture and community, a critical step in our collective resolve as a highly functioning society is to anchor on our own personal values. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to begin that formulation right now, today, and continue to live by and revisit those values as you go out into the world. The world, as you all can see, is wild and fascinating and an unpredictable place. You will be confronted with all sorts of challenges and opportunities you can never completely anticipate. Values will be your compass, your GPS, during the twists and turns so you don't get off track or lost. Too often, as we've seen in the grand sweep of history, people in positions of power and significant influence, which Andover is preparing you all to be, live life without a core set of values and guiding principles. They are tossed about from indulgence to indulgence, distraction to distraction, barely conscious of the implications of their actions on themselves and those around them. As a potentially helpful starting point, I want to share my core values with you, as they are so fundamentally an outcome of the Andover experience that has profoundly shaped my life and ambitions. I have 5 major areas of focus. The first, gratitude and purpose. The second, a compilation of values derived from Zen philosophy. These include mindfulness, love, kindness, humility, empathy, compassion, generosity. The third is around creativity and intellectual curiosity. The fourth, excellence. And finally, agility and adaptability, which I added in 2020 during the challenges of the pandemic. So these are mine. I challenge you to formulate your own. Pressure test them with your friends and loved ones. Strive for authenticity, having them emanate from the person you are and aspire to be. Write them down and revisit them often. Most importantly, live by them. Thank you.
Good morning, Andover. My name is Nigel Savage. And I'm a senior in Thompson House, and today I have the pleasure to introduce Loyce LaShawndra Pace receive the Alumni Award of Distinction. Just to give you some background so that you guys understand how awe-inspiring and how amazing Ms. Pace is, while at PA, Ms. Pace was heavily involved with community engagement, helping tutor new immigrants for the Spanish GED and teaching biology to MS-squared scholars. After leaving PA, she went on to earn a BA from Stanford and then a master's in public health from Johns Hopkins. Ms. Pace spent her career fighting for public health not just in the US, but globally as well. From 2006 to 2011, Ms. Pace was the director of regional programs for the American Cancer Society's Department of Global Health and was responsible for developing their first capacity building and advocacy initiatives in Southeast Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. She has also worked for the Physicians for Human Rights and served on the International Development Fellow for Catholic Relief Services, implementing community outreach programs throughout Senegal and the Gambia. Pace also served as the president and executive director for the Global Health Council, a US-based nonprofit that supports and connects public health professionals across 150 countries. She came to the role having held leadership positions in global policy and strategic partnerships at the Livestrong Foundations and the American Cancer Society. And in the words of Jonah Quick, the board chair of the Global Health Council, on the global health landscape, Loyce Pace has been an advocate not only for the chronic diseases like cancer, but more broadly for health equity, health systems, strengthening health systems, and global health financing. Currently, Ms. Pace works as the Assistant Secretary for Global Affairs at the Department of Health and Human Services, serving at the HHS's diplomatic voice on public health priorities and interacting with foreign countries and United Nations organizations. Much of her time recently has been spent getting COVID vaccines and treatments to the world, as well as preventing another pandemic. But her overall job covers a range of global health access and equity issues. And on top of literally saving the world, Ms. Pace joined the Alumni Council and served on its non-CB committee from 2013 to 2017. And this year in July, Ms. Pace began a 4-year term on Andover's Board of Trustees. So it's my honor to present the Alumni Award of Distinction to Ms. Loyce LaShawndra Pace.
It takes a village. Well, I am going to try and keep my emotions in check. I'm just so moved to be here. It has been a while, but it brings back so many memories for all of us. I know in my case, I had Mr. Bobby Edwards come hunt me down in Los Angeles, California. And I actually ended up running into Bobby not long ago at the vice president's residence in Washington, D.C., and we could both think back on how far we've both come. I guess I just want to start by saying no matter how long it's been, coming back to this campus over the years just brings up all kinds of memories for me. And it's probably not surprising that a place like Andover that's so life-changing could take a hold and have a hold on me over a lifetime. There are great memories that I celebrated with others in my class and those in my family, like breaking a record on the track, or even winning an award at graduation that was completely unexpected. Those were really wonderful moments that I hope I never forget. And then there are other small but important memories that come to mind, like performing on stage for the first time in the Tang Theater. For someone who was really shy at the age of 13, that was a big deal. Also, tutoring in Spanish, like Dear Nigel shared in my bio, or even getting asked to the senior prom. My first year here, I was asked by this beautiful and lovely upperclassman, and I thought it was a joke or a dare or something, but it was actually serious. And so I remember that as a special memory. And for what it's worth, I guess people have that experience. Sorry, I guess we don't do prom anymore. In any case, we're still friends to this day. So the point is, people didn't always see or know what made my heart swell, but it mattered to me. And anyways, there are also tough memories that have really mattered to me. There was the slight from a friend or feeling irreparably hurt by our distance, and sometimes that friend was me. I also remember missing home the day of the LA riots in response to Rodney King, his brutal attack and lack of justice. And I watched those scenes with other kids from LA unfolding blocks away from my childhood home, not knowing whether my family was safe, and just feeling much too far away. I remember the days too I felt lost here on campus, which looking back were common. There were staff who knew I needed help and offered it, like Reverend Zader, like Mrs. Heelan, like the nurse in Isham whose name I don't even remember, but whose spirit I will never, ever forget. I hope she remembers me too because she saved my life. You might be wondering why I bother recalling these harder, heavier times, and it's not that I mean to be a downer. It's just that I think it's important to be honest about all the roads that I took to be here today, because I know there can be significant pressure or expectation from ourselves or others around us to be these optimistic, uplifting things that don't necessarily reflect reality. And at least not all of the time, and not for me. It's important how we tell our stories as well, especially when it seems like we turned out okay, and I think I did. But don't be fooled because I struggled. Now, I'm not going to stand here and celebrate struggle. It can be cruel and frankly traumatic in a way no one deserves, but I will acknowledge that it sometimes comes with all these other great things that make us who we are. And of course, I want everyone here to have a magical, fulfilling, and even carefree experience. Andover will always be a special place for me, and I want you to feel the same after you're gone, even years after you've gone away. What made my time here most memorable, though, and most meaningful, was just really all the ways that I was allowed to be my whole self. All the thriving days and low points, the questioning moments coupled with glimmers of confidence. I realize now how powerful it's been for me to honor the spectrum of my life experience and balance the various paths and perspectives to show up fully as what one of my mentors calls my highest and best self. That 360-degree inside-out self-reflection is pretty fundamental in a world where it feels like we're called on to be everything to everyone and even make it look easy in the end. There's perhaps more pressure to do this for a career like ours that's driven by non-civi. Trust us, it's exhausting. But can we really be a single version of ourselves all the time or show up for everyone in the same way? I think we know that's pretty much impossible. We try mainly because so many of us place a ton of value on what it stereotypically means to be successful, discounting the other parts of our experience that are just as valuable. And I get it, a lot of us in this building, we want to be the best at everything and then some. So we don't see how struggling or failing makes us better too. Can changemakers also fear what's coming next, even if they're the ones out front rallying people to believe in them? Can experts ask for help on something they thought they knew so well? Can leaders fall short of a mission or goal they've set for others? Of course, all these scenarios are acceptable and even admirable realities, and that's the point. They're real. Because if we ourselves are these complicated, evolving beings, why not the work we do or the impact we have? Maybe it means you pivot. Maybe it means you take more time getting there. Maybe it means you cry happy tears or throw a party when it all works out, and you don't have to do anything differently. Because remember, that's a reality too. Getting something right the first time and enjoying it entirely. However your road twists and turns, shuts down or smoothens out, know that it's a reflection of you, all of you. Just like this award and this honor is a reflection of all of me. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karen, and I am a four-year senior, and I am delighted to introduce Sandra Yuri for the class of 1970 for the Alumni Award of Distinction. After graduating from Stanford with an undergraduate degree, Sandra Yuri returned to Andover as a teaching fellow in Russian and worked in admissions. Eventually, she assumed the role of Associate Secretary of the Academy. Her former Andover volunteer roles include class head agent, class secretary, reunion planning committee member, service on the Abbott Academy Fund Board, and a member of the Alumni Council. After 9 years at Andover, she enrolled at the Yale School of Management, where she earned her master's in public and private management. She then joined Cambridge Associates, a global investment firm that now advises 70% of U.S. educational endowment assets and 40% of global foundation assets. From there, Ms. Yuri focused on providing investment advice to endowed nonprofit institutions. In 2016, after 20 years of serving in various professional roles and a 15-year tenure as CEO of Cambridge Associates, Ms. Yuri assumed the position of Chairman Emerita and Managing Director. Ms. Yuri's keen interest in the alignment of finance and social issues led to a seat on the board of the Social Finance US, a national impact finance and advisory nonprofit that creates partnerships that measurably improve lives. Additionally, from 2007 to 2010, Ms. Yuri was a member and vice chair of the Investors Committee of the United States President's Working Group on Financial Markets. She also served on the Andover's board, the board of Stanford Management Company, and was the vice chair of the board of 100 Women in Finance, formerly known as 100 Women in Hedge Funds. Now, she currently serves on the board of Social Finance US and the Crane Institute for Sustainability. In recognition of her career and her service on both nonprofit and corporate boards, Ms. Yuri has been recognized widely. She received the Institutional Investor 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award, 100 Women in Hedge Funds 2016 North American Industry Leadership Award, and the 2014 Private Equity Trailblazer Award at the Women's Private Equity Summit. Ms. Yuri is also a trustee emerita, Andover Distinguished Service Award recipient, and currently volunteers for the Boston Regional Committee for the Knowledge and Goodness Campaign. Although Ms. Yuri could not be with us today, we look forward to having her join us on campus soon. Nevertheless, it is my great honor to present the 2022 Alumni Distinction Award to Sandra Yuri, class of 1970.
Well, thank you to our distinguished alumni for joining us today and your incredible remarks. They too, like all of you, were up early this morning and are attending classes today. Thank you to our student speakers for taking on the public role of introducing our special guests. These recipients are quite different from each other, yet they share two things. One, they spent time in their lives on the Andover campus that were transformative experiences. Second, they found careers that were not just jobs, but were their passions. Our school seal, which was mentioned earlier, has two sets of words on it. One of them is Finis, Origine, Pendent. The end depends on the beginning, which is our theme of today's all-school meeting. This is part of your beginning. May you use your time on this campus to explore your passion as these people have done. Last weekend, we welcomed your families to campus. Inevitably, you were asked how you were doing, what you were doing, and what do you love here? How did you answer those questions? Likely your answer highlighted something that you have excitement for, whether it's technology or public service or finance or learning a new area of knowledge. To our alumni that joined us on this time today, we thank you for modeling a life of hard work and meaning and joy. Thank you again and welcome back to campus. All school meeting is adjourned.